Our wildlife is facing its biggest ever challenge. 1 in 5 species in Wales is facing extinction, and it's all because of us. Our changing climate, pollution, invasive species, habitat destruction, we are pushing our wildlife over the brink. And all across Wales, our natural world is being depleted like never before. At Wild Cymru, we're determined to stop this situation before it's too late. But we're running out of time. We founded our Nature Investigations Unit so that those who hold the fate of our natural future in their hands are held to account, making sure that decisions, policy and actions lead to more wildlife in more places. We want to see environmental justice and to give wildlife the strong voice it so desperately needs. To launch our mission, Wild Cymru's investigative journalist Helen Callaghan went to discuss the new legal protections for wildlife in our country with the Interim Environmental Protection Assessor for Wales, Professor Linda Warren.
Our role is to advise ministers. We're a non-statutory body, so we have no powers, we don't have any legal backing behind us, and we can just advise ministers of problems to do with environmental law. Generally, we start looking at something because we've had a submission, which will come from a member of the public or from a non-governmental organisation, and they will note something that they think is wrong and ask us to investigate.
And just to clarify then, what you're doing is different from the kind of regulation that Natural Resources Wales do. They're looking for breaches in the law potentially, and you're looking at functionality. Can you just explain the difference between the two?
We have no powers of regulation at all. We don't regulate, so we have no powers. NRW regulate because they have the law behind them that tells them that there are certain things that are offences, and it's their job to actually try and stop those and remediate them if there is an issue.
Has there been a governance gap here in Wales?
There is a complete governance gap. In England, Scotland and Northern Ireland, there are statutory bodies. They have powers. They can do things. If they feel there may be an issue where the law isn't being properly implemented, they can then produce a report. And ultimately, if they think there is a real failure to implement, they have powers to issue compliance notices.
What changes are coming to Wales in terms of governance?
The Act that has just gone through the Senedd, it's a bill at the moment, but it will get royal assent shortly, we hope. That, as one of its roles, sets up a new body, which is the Office of Environmental Governance Wales. That will have powers that are very, very similar to those in England and Scotland and Northern Ireland. It will be able to report, ministers will have to respond to reports. It will be able to get information from public bodies.
And how far can they take those powers?
The biggest extra power they've got is that if on an investigation they think that a public authority isn't complying, they can issue a compliance notice requiring that body to do what it's supposed to do. The public body can request a review of that, but should that review be unsuccessful and the compliance notice stands, then they will be required to actually carry out the work. And if they don't do it, then the new body will be able to take them to court.
And what do you hope that that will bring to environmental protection in Wales?
Providing it is properly resourced, and by that I mean with enough people able to do the work, then it could be instrumental in tightening up on some procedures. And most importantly, I think, it's all down to resources. It will mean that people have to take their environmental duties seriously. They can no longer say, well, we've got other more pressing things to do. It will bring the environmental issues up on that same level.
Your Protected Sites report was much debated and fed into the new law when it comes to biodiversity targets. Can you tell me what you have made of the state of our protected sites here in Wales in terms of your findings and and how you feel about that.
The baseline is sites of special scientific interest. And even when you have other protected sites like the special areas of conservation and the special protection areas for birds, they're all based on there being an SSSI underpinning it. And yet we do not really know the condition of the vast majority of those sites. Many of them may be fine, but we don't know. Of those that we do know the condition of, it would seem that they are largely not in a good state. So that's the first point that's come out of it. That was not new from us. But what we've done is say, well, why is that the case? And one reason is that there is no statutory duty to monitor sites.
There was a real evidence gap in the condition of our protected sites. Did that shock you?
No, not really, because we live in such a changing world. Things have changed so much. I mean, I have lived in my community for the last 30 years, and I've seen changes of common species. You know, where are the hedgehogs? Hedgehogs aren't protected, you know, and until we start trying to do more work on these sorts of things, I think we're going to continue to lose not just our special species, but all the others as well. It's about time we paid more respect to citizens' science. Not just citizens, but by non-governmental organisations who are experts and then are using their volunteers to assist. We need to make more use of that.
So, looking forward to the new legislation as it comes on board, what needs to be done by the next Welsh Government in order to resource that properly?
Well, one of the things we have suggested is that Welsh Government should actually do the maths, work out what it will cost. Obviously, they need to get the information from NRW, but it's Welsh Government's responsibility to work out what it will cost. First, to do the monitoring, and then subsequently, I suppose, to do the management where they find what's needed. But first of all, that monitoring.
So, if I'm someone who's particularly concerned about environmental protection in Wales, how will I go about ensuring that environmental law is being implemented properly once this new body is set up?
The new body in Wales, the Senedd, have made quite clear that they have included something in it that maintains that whole idea of people making representations or submissions. The environmental justice, as much as anything else, is the ability to actually seek justice, to be able to query when someone's doing something that you think is in breach of their environmental duties. And this is the judicial review argument. Any member of the public, anyone, is able to go to a court and say, we think there is an issue here.
What does that mean to you in terms of environmental justice in its widest sense? Because I think a lot of people will be very interested in that.
I think it has been instrumental over the years, ever since it's come into being, to enable public interest to be taken forward by the bigger non-governmental organisations and also little local groups that set up deliberately to bring these cases where they think that the environment is suffering because environmental law is either not being applied at all or it's being misapplied. I think it's been crucial and will continue to be so.